Hi, welcome to my video for this week. I'm going to go ahead and show you a tic-tac-toe game that I created using JavaScript, HTML, and a little bit of Bootstrap. So I'm going to start off in my index.html file. There's not a lot going on, but let me show you what I have. So the first main thing is we have this title that's going to represent the title for the page. It's just tic-tac-toe. Then I have a div here that contains an alert. I created it using Bootstrap, and it's just going to pop up each time a player wins or if there's a draw. I have a couple H2 headers here that I created that are inside divs, and that's just going to represent each player's score, so X's score or O's score. And that's going to change depending on the score. I have a div here, class container, that contains a grid container. And all these grid items are going to represent the squares on the tic-tac-toe board. And then I have a couple buttons here. So this button is just going to reset the board. And then the second one is going to reset the score if the player wishes to reset the score. Okay, let's go into the index.js. Let me show you what I have in here. So I have quite a few variables in here. We have game board, squares, it's going to represent squares on the board. And I used DOM to grab these elements. And then I have an array of players that just contains X and O as the players. Current player is always set to index 0, so X is always going to play first. And then I have a score for each of the players that I set to 0 by default. And then there's a couple variables here that just represent the score headers for each player. So if a player scores, the heading will be updated and the score will increment. I also have an array here called winning patterns. So it's just a matrix, contains all the possible winning patterns. And then I have a variable called end of game message. And I just created that with DOM as well and styled it. And then that is going to change depending on whose turn it is. And then I have a for loop here that's going to contain all the main code that controls the game. I have an event listener that I added to each square. And then in the for loop, we're just going to go ahead and check for a win. Also check to see if there's a tie. And then at the very end of the game, the current player is always going to be set back to index 0, so X. And then here's those methods here, check for win, check for tie. And then also I got a couple methods here that are tied to the buttons, reset board and reset score. And then the other thing I should mention about the alerts is that I used a set timeout for it so that it'll pop up and then it'll disappear after about 4 seconds. So let me just go ahead and show you what all of this looks like. Let's go ahead and refresh just in case. All right, so if we start playing, so it says it's O's turn because X already went. And then, so O won the game, so it's going to increment the score for O. We can go ahead and reset the board, play again. So X won this game, so it increments the score for X. We can go ahead and reset the board, and then we can also reset the score if we wish to. Yeah, simple tic-tac-toe game. That's all I got, though. Thank you for watching this video.